Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is kind of an impromptu video that I wasn't even planning on filming. I wasn't going to have a video this week for Friday. My normal posting schedule, depending on when you're watching this, whether it's right now or in the future, is currently I come out with a video on Tuesdays and Fridays. I typically do all of my filming on the weekend and then I edit and I upload for Tuesday and Friday. I've been feeling sort of really overwhelmed with that. I had made an announcement on my YouTube back in July, which is 5 months ago, it's now December, that I was only going to commit to one video a week, but I was going to try really hard to put out 2 every week, which I've actually consistently done since August. I've put out 2 videos every week. I don't know if I've missed a week or not, but generally I've come out with 2 a week. And I was starting to feel really overwhelmed by that, and I was going to go down to 1 video a week just to free up some of my weekend time. And that was my plan this week, and so this is kind of last minute. You are seeing this Thursday afternoon. I've got a little bit of time on my hands, and I thought that this would be a really good time to kick off my debt payoff journey videos. I want to come out with maybe like 1 a month with just an update on where we are at with our debt and paying it down. I've recently started listening to all the Dave Ramsey, Chris Hogan, Ken Coleman, like all of those podcasts and stuff, and I haven't paid for anything. Everything that I'm doing is free. I don't want to have to put any money into it, but I'm really debating doing their Financial Peace University class, which I know you can do cheaper through a church. So I may look into that, but as of now, I'm not paying for anything that I'm doing on our debt journey, debt payoff journey. I'm just trying to research and do everything for free. So yeah, I'm thinking this would be a really good time right before Christmas to be really intentional about where our money is going, and maybe this will help some of you if you're watching this, you know, right when I come out with it. We're about, I don't know, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. I think maybe we're 2 weeks away from Christmas when this comes out. So maybe this will help you kind of curb your spending, maybe just kind of hearing someone else talking about their debt and wanting to pay it off and be super intentional about it. So I hope this comes to you at a really good time and it's helpful. And also I hope that it really doesn't make you feel bad about the choices you've made, because I'm right there with you. I have definitely, I wouldn't say I've been bad this year per se, I just haven't been very intentional, and so now I find myself feeling like the hill to get over is even bigger than it was a year ago. And I really just I don't want the mountain to get any bigger. I'm just ready to be what they say on the podcast apparently is gazelle-like intensity. So any of you that listen to it, you might know what I'm talking about. If not, I probably sound like a crazy person, but anyway, you'll just have to go and start listening to those podcasts for yourself to understand. But this would also be a good time to wrap up, not my weight loss journey in general, because I'm definitely still on it, but just wrap it up for the year, because I came to you in January when I started my weight loss challenge at work, and it ended the Wednesday before Thanksgiving break, and so that is all done, and I wanted to give you an update on how the year went with that. So let's start off with the weight loss journey part, because I feel like that's going to be a little bit quicker and easy to get through, and then we will dive into the debt part. So this is your cue to skip forward if you don't care about weight loss, because as I can see in my analytics, a lot of you skip sections of my videos and you just go to like what you're looking for. So yeah, so I started the year off at 185 pounds. I gave birth last October to my daughter, my second baby, and I was 175 pounds when I got pregnant with her, and I was 213 pounds when I gave birth, which was October 25th of 2019. So between October giving birth and January 1st, I had got down from 213 to 185, which I think was 38 pounds, or was it 28 pounds? 28 pounds. I had lost, yes, 28 pounds before I even started the challenge at work. I was like, this is so not fair. I totally don't even get credit for these 28 pounds. But so Yeah, our weight loss challenge started January 1st, and I was 185, and we were to weigh in every month, once a month, and track how we were losing weight. It was me and 3 other coworkers, and each month, if you lost weight, they were tallied by, there was a fifth coworker who was not part of the challenge. She was our like HR assistant person. She kept tracking like a spreadsheet of our weights and how much we were losing for that month, and then like a total for the year. And if you gained weight, you were supposed to pay into it, which now that it's over, we've all come to find basically nobody did that, but we all put $20 in, so it was $80. And I lost like 3 pounds here, 2 pounds here. There was even a month where I broke even and I was the exact same weight as the month before. I lost like 1 pound here and then like 5 pounds there. It was very slow. Whereas the other people I work with, they did so good. Like between January and like June, it was like every month they were losing 5 pounds, 6 pounds, more pounds, 5 pounds, 5 pounds, 5 pounds. And I'm like, okay, like I'm clearly not going to win this because I'm not losing as much as they are. So, you know, mid-year, I had only lost like maybe 10 pounds, whereas like all these other people I work with, they were like already lost 25 pounds. I think one person had even lost 30, and I'm like, okay. So as the year went on though, the people I work with started to not eat as well as they had been at the beginning of the year. They drifted back to, I don't know, it's not my place to really talk about like how they lived their lives, but the gist that I get of it is that they just weren't really watching their calories anymore, and they were just kind of like whatever and just like eating whatever. Even though they were like, I think still trying to eat pretty healthy, they were just kind of like, ah well, they weren't really tracking it. And I'll be dead honest, like I kind of stopped tracking my calories because I kind of felt like I was eating the same exact type of thing, like morning, noon, and dinner. And I'm like, why do I keep tracking this? I know how many calories I'm eating. And when I ate something extra, I just knew. I'm like, okay, I had more calories today than I should have. Hello, Lily. My dog just walked up. Hi. And so, yeah, I kind of stayed on that slow and steady pace of 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 1 pound. And by November, I lost 20 pounds, which at home it says I lost like 23 or 25 pounds, but we're going at work fully clothed, sneakers, everything. We were all getting on a scale in front of each other at work, so that's what counted. And so I was 165 the day before Thanksgiving when I weighed in, and for the year, I actually ended up winning the weight loss challenge, which I did not think all year that I was going to win, but I did. And it was purely just slow and steady. Had we only done the weight loss challenge for like 4 months or 6 months, I would have completely lost. But because it was a whole, well, almost a whole year, it was 11 months of weigh-ins, I ended up winning because the other people I work with, well, one person dropped out and they didn't want to weigh in the last month. They just forfeited. And then the other 2 people I work with, one of them had actually got COVID in August, and that coworker felt like they wanted to eat different things after they had COVID, and so they said they felt like their appetite had been different and they just were eating differently, and after surviving something like COVID, they just kind of gave into it and they just ate whatever they felt like eating because they were just happy to like be alive and be just eating whatever they wanted to. So I kind of give that person a pass, but they ended up at the end of the year only having lost from the beginning of the year 4 pounds when that person would have completely won had it been like June, because that's the person that won like, because that's the person that lost like 30 pounds in the first couple months. But at the end of the year, they actually only came out about 4 pounds. And then the last coworker got married like 3 days after our weigh-in. They got married like Saturday after Black Friday, and that person just, I think, like was really stressed out planning their wedding and was like really nervous, and I think that they just kind of ate whatever because they were happy and stressed and all that. And so that person ended up only having lost like 2 or 3 pounds or something like that from the beginning of the year, when they had lost much more earlier in the year. So I'm trying to be really vague because I don't know who's watching this and if I work with them, and I don't want them to know who I'm talking about, although that probably kind of gives it away because who got married. But I'm just trying to be really vague to respect their privacy because it's not really my place to talk about other people's weight. But I wanted to give the rest of you that I don't work with kind of an update on how it went and how everybody turned out. So yeah, I was really surprised by that, and I challenged them to start again in January, and so we'll just see if they are up for that. I definitely feel like I would lose next year because I can't imagine, I mean, not that it's impossible, because I'd like to be 135 pounds, which is like, I've got 30 more pounds to go to lose, and this year, I'll be honest with you, was purely diet. And so I don't feel like diet alone I'm gonna lose 30 more pounds. I really would need to exercise, and I'm just like not there in my life. I want to be a person that exercises, but I'm just not, and I want to be that person, and I hope to get there. But I'm just in a season of life with my kids and with YouTube and with work and house and just everything. I'm not intentional about it, and I don't make the time for it. And honestly, right now, my focus, like, for the time being, is going to really be on debt payoff. And so I don't know, maybe I'll put aside a time where I walk on the treadmill or run on the treadmill and listen to Dave Ramsey podcast or something. Maybe I can incorporate the two together. But so yeah, that's where we're at with that. So here at home, I'm 160 to 162 pounds on the scale, but that's like before I jump in the shower, so I don't know, it doesn't really count. So I don't know. I'm in the 160 to 165 range, and so I'm gonna try to lose more weight next year. So if I'm successful with that as I go along, I will update you along the way. I would like to start using the MyFitnessPal app again like I was, and counting calories, because I think maybe it would help me to stay on track with... There's a squirrel right outside my window. Hi! Twitchy. Their tails, they always look like they've been electrocuted. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, ADHD. I just really get distracted by stuff. I really should stop talking right next to my window, because I end up looking out there because birds fly by and like squirrels and... Anyway, so that's not what you came here for. And so yeah, anyway, we'll keep up with that. So sorry, I've been talking forever about this, and I really thought it would be this shorter topic. But so all right, debt. Okay, I want to be very careful about how I talk about this on my channel. I am never going to tell you how much money I make per year or what my household income is, unless I felt like I got to a place where it wouldn't, where it would be safe to. But for the time being, don't ever expect me to talk about what my income or my husband's income is. I can tell you that we do have an additional stream of income other than just our jobs. I do not make money from YouTube or anything like that at the time that I'm filming this. If I ever do become monetized on YouTube, I don't expect it to be a giant thing. I expect it to kind of be like, oh, there's like 50 bucks. Cool. Let me, like, I don't know, pay off debt. But if you all want to subscribe to me to help me get monetized to pay off debt, then that's cool. I'm right there with that. But yeah, so we have our jobs, and then my husband is a veteran, and so he gets a small stream of disability income that is separate from our pay, and we actually use that for our mortgage. And so we put that money towards our mortgage payment, and so it helps out there. So that's what we do with that. And so my income is very steady. That income is steady. My husband's income is not steady. He is a dump truck driver, which means he kind of goes with the seasons. He works at least 50 weeks of the year. Sometimes they're out at Christmas time because they have no work, but typically he's got a paycheck every week. And so because his income fluctuates like that, we typically use his for food shopping and putting gas in our cars, because that is something that I can kind of curb and work with and work around. That is not an exact number. We typically use, like I said, the disability check and my paychecks. Those pay our bills. And if there is something left over, which here lately there is not, but there used to be before 2020 happened, that would just go towards debt or whatever we're saving for or whatever. I'd like to work to a place where that happens again, where it's not like that. You also have to keep in mind that daycare is literally like almost half my take-home salary. I pay in the summertime $1,100 a month for daycare, and then during the school year when Bentley does just an after-school program and I'm not paying full tuition, it's as low as I think like $900 or something like that a month. It's something like that. And so that also kind of changes throughout the year. We have less money from my checks in the summer because he is not in school, and then in the school year I have a little bit of extra in my checks because of that. And so typically how we pay our stuff stays pretty consistent, and sometimes there's very small fluctuations, but I feel like I have always been pretty decent at budgeting. It's like emergencies or like large things that I just have never learned how to plan for. I grew up with a single mother who only had a GED, and she never really learned what to do with her money. She really just kind of grew up with the idea that it's normal to, well, she also rented her entire life. She never bought a home, so I've done that one thing different. We have bought a home, but she had always just lived paycheck to paycheck, and like that was normal. That was how I think she may have been raised. People, I'm learning from Dave Ramsey, they learn from their parents like what to do with money, and if they were never taught different and they don't know any different, they don't realize that a lot of the things that you are told are actually not true. Like, you have to have debt. It's normal to have student loans and a car payment and stuff like that, and apparently it's not. Apparently you can save your money and put it aside, and when something comes up like your car is dead, you just go buy another one, and you just don't buy $30,000-$40,000 cars. You buy a $12,000 car because you've saved up $12,000, which sounds impossible to me right now, but I'm starting to learn that actually that is doable. And the idea that you have to take out credit cards to have good credit to use the card and pay it off, to build your credit score, I'm finding that that is completely false, and you don't actually have to do that. And I mean, it just, the things I'm learning are really blowing my mind here lately. So I'm starting to try to like shift my mind, and I don't know if we're gonna go to like rice and beans per se, like they say in some of his books, that you just live so poor and that you just literally give all of your money to your debt, and you just like eat rice and beans for a year. I don't know if I could do that. That seems kind of extreme, but I guess we're gonna find out. But what I do want to do to kick off the conversation with you guys about my debt journey is we're gonna break it down one debt at a time. So instead of telling you everything that I have debt for, which there are things that I have that you would just know about. Like, I just got a car in August that I did not pay cash for, so I have a car payment. I do have a college degree. I don't know how many of you know that, but I actually do have a biotech degree, and I graduated with highest honors in 2015 with a 3.86 GPA. I did that while also having Bentley and my mom dying, so I'm kind of really proud of that I was able to do that while having those two really major life events in my life. So yay. But I do still have student loans from that. So those are things that the people that are close to me probably know, those two things. So we do the debt snowball thing with Dave Ramsey, and he's got baby steps. And so baby step 1 is to actually save $1,000. And so I'm actually still doing that. But I thought in this video I would roll in with it baby step 2, which is to start paying off your debt, and you do the debt snowball where you pay off your lowest debt and you work your way up, and you start with the low ones to get them knocked out quicker. So I'm choosing to do that because I'm thinking by next month, by the time I come to you again, I probably will have completed baby step 1, I'm hoping, and put aside $1,000. And I will already be working on my lowest debt. So I thought I'd share that with you now so that when I come to you next time, I can update you on where I'm at with that debt. So we're going to take it one debt at a time, and then when I'm done, you'll know how much debt I had. So right now, my medical debt is actually my lowest debt because I have been working at it since I gave birth, which was about 14 months ago, because I'm working on my 14th month since then, and I pay $100 a month out of my HSA to the hospital where I gave birth, and then I also have a couple of other small bills that have racked up. I had got really behind earlier this year. Willow had seemingly gone to the doctor like every 3 weeks for like 5 months, and every time I went is like $109, $160, $115, $160. And before I knew it, it was like, and I couldn't keep up. I was contributing to my HSA, and I couldn't keep up because I'm paying $100 to the hospital, plus I have all of these things tacking up every 3 weeks. And so I was, I want to say $800 or $900 had racked up at her pediatrician, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so I upped my HSA contribution, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it's just pre-tax dollars that you put onto a card basically, and you use it to only pay medical and like dental things, because you're allowed to like not pay taxes on that stuff. And so I try to strictly only use my HSA money for that, because why would I want to pay taxes on money and then turn around and use that money to pay medical when I could have pre-tax money? Anyway, so right now I got them written down right here. I have 2 bills. One from October 22nd, I took Willow to the doctor, and they think she had pink eye. She did not. The daycare made me take her because she had a red eye, and she did not have pink eye, and I now have to pay $109.32 to find out that she did not have pink eye. And I sat at home for a day and a half, and I used 14 hours of vacation time so that she did not have pink eye. Yeah, welcome to America. That is the healthcare system here. And then my other bill is from November 6th. I went to try and set up a new family doctor for myself, and it was awful. And I don't ever want to see that doctor again, but I nonetheless still have to pay $113.25 for that appointment. So I have my $100 I pay a month, which that balance is... let me think. Okay, I'm about to pay December, so after December, we're talking about January, my balance is $1,550 for myself. No, I'm sorry. That's December's. Nope, it's going to be $1,500. I'll owe $1,500 for myself from giving birth, and I will owe $550 for Willow from when she was born. They charged us separately from her 2-day stay in the hospital, and then mine for giving birth and being in the hospital. So the total balance for that will be $2,050 come January 1st. And plus these 2 bills, which tallies, I did not do the math. Let me do it really quick. $222.57. And so those 2 together is my medical debt. And it's actually like really close to my next debt after that in balance, but that is technically the lower one. We are going to get a big HSA contribution in January that I'm hoping will actually pay the entire thing off. It's kind of a really long story. It has to do with regular HSA contribution and the fact that my company is going with a new new health insurance. It's a whole big thing, but it's not really important. But the important thing is I'm pretty sure that it is actually going to cover everything, and the entire thing will be paid off, and we will be moving on to the next debt. So when I come to you in January, it is my goal to hopefully have $1,000 in the savings account, and I will have that debt wiped out. And then after that, we will talk about what the next debt is that we're going to tackle. So hopefully I'll see you about $3,200 and something dollars later in a month from now. It's kind of nerve-wracking to talk about this stuff and to like bear it out with the world, but I feel like it's very normal for people that to have these things, and I want to talk about it because I don't want it to be normal. I don't want us to be normal. I don't want us to be okay with it. I want us to get rid of these things and not live with this. I mean, I have a baby who is going on 14 months old, and I am still over $2,000 I still owe from giving birth, and that was 14 months ago, and I've been paying $100 a month for 14 months. I don't understand the healthcare in this country. It's just, why even have insurance? I feel like I pay for everything out of pocket. I mean, your deductible is what, $8,000, and it's like, okay, like, what? I'm paying all this money out of my check to cover me in case I go over that. Anyway, you guys all probably know what I'm talking about. But so anyway, I'm really excited though to get it all knocked out, and this video is incredibly long, and I'm so sorry, but I'm so excited to knock all of this out, and I'm hoping that when I come to you next month that I will have reached those goals. So stay tuned, and we will talk about it in January. So I hope that you all have a really good weekend, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. I've been saving you, and you save me too. Yeah, I need it. Don't you need it too? 'Cause I got you, and you got me too.